The next one here is this control flows. Okay, the if block. Just like your regular if statements. You have the if and else, or if and else, and then you can have the begin and end, the begin and end if you want. Usually if you have a series of code, like more than one statements, you will put that into a begin and end. If it's just one statement each, then you don't have to put that in the begin. It's not required. You can put it, doesn't matter. Just that it will only require one statement, then this is what you need. The else part is also optional. You don't need it if you don't have the else part. You just say if total is greater than 10, then do something, you're done, that's okay. Or if you want to branch it out, then you do the else part. Okay? This is a Boolean expression. It has to be a Boolean expression, something true or false. Okay? So here's an example of that. You can also have a nested if and else in there as well. I don't remember if there's a limit or not, but I know that in the case statement, you can only go up to like 12, maybe like about 12 layers deep. There's some limits in there. I don't remember the if and else part. Okay, so that's the nested if and else. And here's an example of that. I declare a variable x. The rand here is a given. It's a random number generator in the SQL server. Again, the rand, I believe, is only part of the T-SQL. So you generate a random number and you multiply that by 10. So the random number is, I think, between 0 and 1. So between 0 and the point number and 1 there, I think you multiply that by 10, you get a whole number. And then print x equal to that x. So in this case, it will be 2. And then you can do the if statement there, right? So back to our script here, the if and else block. I'm going to put go here, so you do the next block. You can declare num as integer is, if you put random for random number times 10, there's any random number between 1 and 10 in this case. And then you can say if this number is greater than a certain number, right? If the rand of num is greater than 5, then you can print greater, else is print lesser. Okay. Now again, only works when you run these together in one execution. Let's see. So to print this, you see that the random number is, we don't know what it is. I didn't print it. So every time I run it, I should get a different number every time. Here's lesser, greater, and so on. If you want to see what that random number is, you will print it above here. And you print the num first, so we know what that num is. Right? And then you run that again. You see that the random is 4. 4 is less than 5, so it's not greater, so you print the lesser. 4 is again. 7 is greater, so you get that greater number. Okay. This is really just really simple statements. Just know that the input here can be coming from a table, right? I could select that instead of rand. I could say something like back to that AP table. You can go back to the AP table, select the AP. Instead of rand, I would say select the maybe sum of the total, what's it called again? I don't remember. Price from invoices. I don't think that's the correct field, but let's see. AP invoices, the total, or invoice total. Like invoice total. So you get that from the invoice total. Assign that to num, and you print the total. You can see it. If num is greater than, let's say, 500, then greater, otherwise it's less. Right? So I get that from the select statement. So run this together. So here I have 214,000. That's much greater than that. So I get that. That's it. Okay, if we make that like 500,000, I think you can even put like a $sign there, and it should take it. Or I don't know, maybe we'll see. If it's money, maybe it's money, and we'll see if that works. Okay. Yeah, it does take it. So this is probably one of the only few languages that allow you to put these characters in there. Most languages don't let you do it. Okay, so interesting. So it's that. If you notice, I put a print num here. I could just put the whole statement here, and I get the total as well, right? I just put that into a variable name, so it's easier. But I could put this whole thing in the sum here, and I should still get the total back out. Well, okay, I guess not. Not as friendly as I thought, but. Okay, this if and else block here is usually used inside a loop or another condition here. Not only that, you can say things like because this num here is really just this num. I think you can put that in here. So instead of printing, put a whole statement here inside here. Okay, so. If I don't use variable names, you could say if this select statement here is greater than that number, then print that. Okay, so you can see that works just as fine. So if the boolean, because this whole thing is a boolean. If I take this out, then it's gonna fail because it's not a boolean. But if I say if exists that, then you can say you can see greater because that means it returns something. So it's still a boolean, right? And this is one of the things that you see before. If exists, you can check the table. If the database is there, then don't create it. Otherwise, create a new database or create a new table.